Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Peridiam, and we are back. From a long hibernation, 9 straight months of surviving on the edge, pushing me to my limit, well, I finally snapped, and here we are, back in the insane asylum. Welcome to Big Brother 21. Usually I don't take the preseason of Big Brother or Survivor very seriously, and it's not too different this time either, but in an attempt to change things up from last year, I've decided to put on my big boy serious suit and take a stab at some preseason analysis beyond just jokes. I mean, this whole video is one bad joke, but let's be real, at least we can all laugh and cringe together. So here's my totally serious, 100% legitimately happening. You can pencil it into your fantasy drafts as nothing less than absolute locks. Here's my analysis of the entire cast of Big Brother 21.
Listen up, peeps. Big Bro is about to heat up your summer again.
Let's do it!
Total strangers.
Living under one roof, watch 24/7.
You're stuck with me until the day you die.
Oh, great.
Hashtag hot mess. See you for Big Brother, Tuesday, June 25th.
Starting with Elise Talavera, 22 from California. She is a college soccer player, and man, oh man, does she remind me of a mix between Lauren from the latest season of Survivor Edge of Extinction mixed with Esty from BB Can 7. Also, a little bit of Kristen Bell. Did Brett cast her? She says that she has been watching for 12 years, which would be around Big Brother 8, if you do the math. Loves Danielle Donato and Jordan, clearly a fan of BB13, or at least that middle era of the show. Her fandom level checks out, which I appreciate. Annalise says she's confrontational, but to me, and I think to Ika, she seems pretty tame. Her strategy is to lay low, wants to win comps down the line, but for the most part, pretty much play exactly how you would expect on any given season. You don't ruffle too many feathers out of the gate. She says that her biggest problem will be her RBF, her resting bitch face, but I think her real big problem will be her lack of influence given her age. One of the youngest in the cast, is she really going to have any sway over the rest of the players? Big Brother is largely political, and being a passenger can only get you so far. She's also single, and whatever happens, happens. I think she's very susceptible to being in a showmance, which your mileage may vary, but to me, not good. Overall, I feel lukewarm on her. Sadly, I don't think there's a high ceiling for potential as far as gameplay goes, but this is all preseason, so who really knows? That said, while I have the bar somewhat low, it may all just be because I secretly want her to do well and exceed my expectations. Also, for what it's worth, she's the first person of the entire cast that I'm really sitting down and analyzing, so for all I know, she may be the best of the bunch, she's just the first one to get to me.
Everyone, when they first meet me, they're super intimidated just because I have this RBF going on. So I think that might rub people the wrong way, and that's normally when they don't really like me because they think I'm a...
Christy Murphy, 28, Staten Island, New York, a boutique owner. She also started with Big Brother 8. Talks about integrity a lot, would rather lose with integrity than win under any circumstances. Surprised she didn't say Cody as her favorite. She seeks authenticity. Really seeks authenticity. Girl, this is Big Brother. Faux fur is always in fashion. She is very much giving me Caitlyn from Big Brother 20 vibes. The energy, good vibes, kill him with that tomboy kindness. I don't know if this is going to be a recurring trend. I don't have the highest hopes for Christy in this preseason. She's perhaps a little bit too real or raw for what Big Brother wants. I like that she's willing to be herself, but I don't know how much everyone else in the cast will too. You piss off the wrong alpha male and you may just be pre-jury.
I was in a 7-year relationship with a woman 21 years older than me, and now I'm single, and I'm so excited to be
21
single.
years older.
Yeah, crazy.
Cliff Hogg, 54 petroleum engineer from Houston, Texas. Donnie with a side of cornbread. He said he got into the show with Big Brother 8, which is just super bizarre. That's 3 in a row for me. Cliff has seen some shit. He's traveled the world, dug for oil, slept under bulletproof blankets. Maybe he actually is cut out for the show. Cliff wants to be the loyal pawn in someone else's grand strategy, at least at the start, but he also knows that the older guy doesn't usually fit in too well, at least at the start. To remedy this, he is gunning for the first HOH. Okay, that actually might be a change of pace. I think most players go in saying they don't want to win this competition. I actually appreciate that he is aware of this generational gap he will clearly be facing and wants to make strides to patch that up as soon as possible. I mean, look at Jerry on BB10 in week 1. Sadly, 3 for 3. I have low expectations for Cliff going in, just because we have seen this talk and walk numerous times before. Look at Paul on Big Brother Canada 2. I think Cliff could deal some damage if he escapes the week 1 perils, but him being of such a different age to everyone else really puts him at a huge disadvantage that I just can't overlook. I hope Boss Hog proves me wrong. It's always a pleasure to see a player cut from a different cloth find success in the game.
Would you rather be a legend and not win, or win and not be respected?
Yeah. $500,000 buys a whole lot of don't give a damn.
Okay, all right, well, there you have it.
David Alexander, 29, a photographer from Atlanta, Georgia. Not a big fan of the game, a recent fan, as these players always say. Cookie cutter, he picks the big stars from last season as his favorites. Boy, oh boy, we are in the preseason. He wants to work the social game. Ding! Likely gets into a nice cushy alliance, given he's only seen level 6 and the brigade. I like how he says historically in some of his answers when he's only seen 2 seasons ever. Of course, he's single and will pick money over love until that love is something fine. Girl, you looking nice. How you doing? Look, let's be honest. David could easily win Big Brother 21. I'm not even joking. Despite that vanilla dime a dozen recruit answer we all just got, David has charm that can go a long way in a game like Big Brother. I mean, watch the interview. He can cry on command. You don't need to know a lot about the game to do well. We've seen this before, and being what appears to be a rather likable people person means David should have people around his person just about every step of the way. Of course, he could fall into the usual rookie mistakes, such as being too big of a target at the beginning. I don't get a strong sense he's altogether that tactical as of yet, but we'll see. Despite ripping on him for most of my analysis, I wouldn't hesitate that much to pick him first in a draft.
He's really crying.
You know, sometimes you get emotional. You know, you stabbed me in the back. I thought we had an alliance, and now you turn on me. You know, yeah.
What dark hole did you crawl out of?
Nicole Anthony, 24, preschool aide from Long Island, New York. Finally a fan who didn't start with Big Brother 8. She is a big fan of Paul. Who wouldn't be when your name's Nicole? Apparently this lady has locked her parents in her basement. Okay, she's a bit of a little rascal kind of persona. From what I've gathered from her interviews, her game plan is to assess everything going into the house. Okay. Hopefully she can also do something with that assessment. You know, put a large dollop of thought into your actions. It never hurts. Sometimes default isn't necessarily the best setting to operate on. She definitely wants to wear the strategist hat, but I have a healthy amount of doubt. She could very well fall into the usual role of that outside girl brought in until it's her time to go. She also said that she would rather lose the game with respect than win the game. Say a prayer for Nicole. She may just need it.
Are they gonna be watching?
Yes, parents, sisters, students' parents.
Can you imagine, Nicole's parents? This is the person that you've raised us, that used to lock you in basements, and now she'll be locked into a house. The perfect karma!
Holly Allen, 31, wine safari guide from Wyoming. Wait, what? I never thought that I would put those 2 words together. From Wyoming. That said, she did grow up on a ranch. As she said, she has the starter kit to tough it out, though I kind of wonder if she would do better on Survivor, if she even realizes she's not on Survivor. She is a guy's girl. I can see it. I can also see the girls targeting her before the guys. She's also said that she is a big fan of Jeff and Tyler and Derek, and okay, that pretty much tells me nothing. She wants to play an honest game despite knowing she is going to have to lie. It's kind of like in the interview, she keeps giving me hope that she's going to be more than I'm expecting, and then immediately just yoink takes it right back. She also can't fake laugh to save her life, which may just be a prophecy. That said, I could see her fitting in well. She seems like a rather all-arounder than anything too exceptional, which is good to at least make it to the jury. I need more though from Holly to even feel decent with her capabilities. I think she may do well socially, but she keeps telling me she is not cutthroat enough, and it's like, girl, come on. Drink that wine. Channel that inner tiger on your Big Brother safari.
I think your sad face was way better.
I know, I'm so bad at
It's okay, you're not bad, you're not bad.
No, oh my gosh, the fake laugh. Oh, I wear my emotions on my face, like, so. I might be in trouble.
Tommy Bracco, 28, Broadway dancer from Staten Island, New York. We have a lot of New York accents this season. What the hell? So, Tommy is a really big dose of character thus far. He is vibrant, really alive, kind of seems like he lit up the room and very well could light up the house. I feel kind of good about him. He's a big fan of Davon and Jess from BB19, which is kind of peculiar, and it makes me wonder if he's headed for another pre-jury flameout for just being too big compared to everyone else. Tommy understands this game is very political. It's very much about the spin. It's not the reality. It's the spin on reality that advances your game. He wants to be the Italian mother of the house, but I wonder if he's going to fit more into the social butterfly type who's less of a mom or a parental figure and more of a conduit for information, a safe harbor for many players to seek refuge. You know what? I feel pretty good about Tommy. I actually think it's kind of possible to feel too good about someone, because if that makes him a big threat, if I'm feeling good, I have to wonder how everyone else is going to feel when they meet him. And that may spell his demise.
There's two sides to every story. So it's a matter of how you spin the story.
Okay.
It's not a matter of lying and telling the truth. It's just how you spin the truth.
Oh.
And I'm really good at that.
Catherine Dunn, a 29 digital marketing executive from Texas. While I'm watching this interview of her, I noted that Catherine has this little problem where she says a lot without really saying much of anything. She talks so much that she ends up talking herself into a corner. She is a huge fan of the show, but all she relates to is last season. She knows it's the cookie cutter answer, and while I like cookies, I'm not sure if hers are winning me over. She even goes so far as to say she wants to play like Tyler. Okay, Haley. Maybe I'm too jaded, but like, come on. That said, she does bring up Janelle, and I do see that that's a comparison there that I think is legitimate, like a Janelle and Rachel Riley maybe, or maybe Alyssa Riley. She wants to be low-key, but I don't know if I buy her being able to pull that off. First boot, robbed Final Three goddess, Victoria. Catherine is a lot, and I think she knows it, and I question if that's going to lend itself to a positive reception from the rest of her cast, or pretty much put her on the outs, as I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen either.
I went to a private school in high school. I went to a private university, was involved in cheerleading, dance. I mean, I'm used to people backstabbing and gossiping.
Okay,
is what I'm trying to say. So my whole life has prepped me for this moment.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see if it pays off.
Kemi Fakunli, a 25 marketing strategist from Maryland. What's up, Maryland? So is she as much of a strategist at marketing herself, or am I going to be left wanting? She's new to the game, but did pick BB18 as her current favorite, which I would say is it's an outlier pick. She's also a big fan of Rachel Riley, so she's definitely gone back and done some homework. Interestingly, Kemi tells us she's not a big fan of the emotional players, so then I begin to wonder how much she'd actually really like Rachel in the house. That said, Kemi wants the win. She strongly wants the win. I'm always kind of looking for red flags in the preseason and early weeks to see who has the least potential to get evicted and the most potential to win. Kemi is very confident, which is absolutely a plus, but given that she's not a super fan, I can only hope it doesn't become misguided, because it is very easy to get ahead of yourself in the game and think that you're in the lead when really, as was the case with, say, Devon, just because you have all the information doesn't mean you'll necessarily know what to do with it. That being said, I feel good about Kemi as far as preseason can go anyway. She is spicy, but I think can reel it in when necessary. But hey, all bets are off when you walk through that front door.
That's not bad.
Oh my God.
Is that what you've been doing to me all through the interview? I feel like, because that fake laugh was like a good 8.
But I like you, so I have to boost your ego. So, Just kidding.
Ovi Kabir, 22 college student from Tennessee. Ovi is Ovi is a young politician if my casual internet sleuthing has done me any good. He is very eager to get into the game. He is a young super fan who seems really likable, like so much so that I thought he already had the jury votes from these former players who are interviewing him. I know it's kind of stupid early to say it, but Ovi could be another shutout winner if he ever makes it that far. He tells us that he's aware of his flaws, that he's going to make sure that those flaws don't come out too much. He's going to work on them, though I will say, similar to Annalise, I think that he could be a case of him just sort of being affected negatively from the beginning for being younger than everyone. But then he is quite political and positive, and so maybe it's going to work to his advantage. Superfans in Big Brother tend to either fare really well or are pretty much just there, quite expendable, especially early on. They definitely get underestimated, and I get why. Ovi isn't very threatening, even though I think he very well could be the most threatening when conceptualizing the winner. Basically, I think he has what it takes to win. He is smart, he's kind of dorky, but that never hurts. He'll likely get in good with many people, and I don't have too many bad things to say about him. And to be honest, when I first watched the cast videos as they were streaming live on All Access, I felt like Ovi was the best bet to take the W. So I will just say this, as a big-time Caps fan, looks like I'll be able to root for Ovi during the summertime too.
He's just a fun guy who just wants to chill a little bit.
He's just fun, he's just nice,
exactly.
You know, and he smiles, he's so nice.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping to do. So I think people won't expect me to be such a threat, and when they realize that I'm a threat in the game, it'll be too late by then.
Nick Macaron, 27, therapist from New Jersey. Straight away, this guy looks like a mix of Casey Affleck and Jacob from Big Brother 9. That's nothing but a compliment. And after watching his interviews, I could almost see him pulling a Jacob. This guy is he's kind of bouncing in his seat, rearing to go on the show. Probably more of a nervous bounce, really, but Nick clearly has a game plan in mind. He has been watching the show since BB17 and definitely has his opinions on those players since then. To be honest, I kind of feel like I've met several Nick types on social media, a lot, for better and worse. He's confident, he believes in himself. I think it's clear he thinks that he has got what it takes, and maybe he does, but it's a long summer. That said, I did ultimately feel good about his prospects, assuming he actually is as good as he says and is able to, quote unquote, lay low, because I think he's probably going to need to. If he's any bit as smart as he lets on, he will likely become a target pretty quickly. I think Nick could swing hard in either direction. He could be the David who turns into the Goliath by the end, or be the guy who gets stalked by Gina Marie for 2 straight weeks. The jury's out.
Can I curse?
Sure.
Okay. I was like, what the is Big Brother? And they were like, just watch the show. So all of a sudden comes on, and it was this Asian guy with a country accent. I'm like, what is this? It was James.
Jack Matthews, 28, nomad warrior, Aquaman, fitness trainer from Chicago. Yeah, he looks a lot like Khal Drogo and Aquaman fused together, and now that is really a compliment. A recent superfan, Jack doesn't really have a ton to talk about as far as depth of game goes. I think his potential to go far is actually really high, given he's only but a physical threat in a game all about social strategy. He's kind of like the Shane, or maybe even the Frank, or maybe even a bit of Austin, the big guy who's a bit more of a protector without much finesse tactically. Jack is the meat shield. A self-proclaimed good guy who probably is a good guy, but he's a bit two-dimensional. And 2D rarely wins in a 40 underwater chess match. I like Jack, but then I also like Khal Drogo for being the simple character that he was, an early game protector for a bigger player on the board. That's where I'm at with Jack. Not a lot, but you know what? That's probably where we're all at with Jack.
The thing that I'm looking for most to is within the competitions itself. Like veto competitions seem like being able to bring somebody back or being able to save somebody. I would love that opportunity to be able to save somebody in a veto comp.
Jessica Milagros, 30-ish model from Chicago, plus size model representation. I like Jessica a lot, particularly in this interview anyway. Maybe more so as a person than as a player, which has yet to be seen. She lists Jeff as her favorite, and I'm like, really? BB17? I mean, like, his arm sway was great and all, but like, right. Technotronics. Wizards. I don't think Jess is super calculated, but I do think she will be super underestimated. I think her size may actually work to her benefit on a game level, and I think that she'll be able to ingratiate herself pretty well. She talks about having a good social game, but that kind of means absolutely nothing to me. I mean, just look at my BB20 preseason cast analysis. I hear social game and I'm like, what are you even really talking about? To me, having a good social game involves utilizing those bonds and not just being well liked. Because better players will cut you even if they like you, and there isn't much agency in just being well received. But I think Jess is on a good season for her based on the rest of her cast, and because of that, she may do better than most of us will initially expect.
I like to think of a more calculated person. So I have a great social game. I love everybody. Genuinely, I want to make those networking connections, and I want to see what makes a person tick.
Jackson Mickey, 24, server from Tennessee. It's like if Brett and Winston adopted a child, raised it in their likeness, and then sent him off on his way to a new season of Big Brother. I think production even got rid of the double doors this season, probably thanks to Jackson. Jackson has been compared to a Ken doll in that he almost doesn't really look real in his photos. He has the most perfect teeth I have ever seen, ever. It's crazy. And that's kind of the perception that Jackson is going to face, at least in the first week, but even more so going forward. He is a big physical threat, and unlike, say, Jackson comes across much more self-interested. And given he definitely stands out appearance-wise, it's going to be imperative he not be that tallest nail, because he will for sure get the hammer swung his way. And I can already see that scene in the HOH room with his shirt off and maybe a backwards cap on while he's talking intensely with some other guys about rowing down and dominating this house and letting the best players reach the end, because that never, ever happens, and it's definitely going to happen this season. Look, that being said, despite all that, Jackson is really self-aware. He is a self-identified Chad, as he said that stereotype and awareness is the first step. But he's competitive. And ultimately, I just don't have the highest hopes for his chances to win the show because of his stereotype, because of his archetype. It tends to flame out pretty quickly. Earlier, I said he doesn't want to be the tallest nail, but what I think is that he is a tall tree and he needs to blend in with the forest, or he is going to get chopped down by like week 2 or week 3. Whether he knows that or he knows how to do that is yet to be seen.
Fire away.
You ready?
I was born ready.
Are you fun or intense?
Oh man, intense.
Yeah, I'm like, boy, if you say it fun.
No, I am fun, but I'm an intense kind of fun.
Sam Smith, 31, truck driver from Pennsylvania. Holy crap, it is actually Jeff from BB17. He's back. No, okay. Sam, the truck driver, is way more full of life than Jeff was back then. Bouncing off the walls, he is a fan of Derek, basically the big players from the past few seasons, and he's already ready to go into the game, befriending every person in front of him. I was really engaged listening to him in this interview because it was a different interview than just about every other player in this cast. He really led the conversation with his own thoughts and opinions and had a really positive, emotive response to go along with his words. He even told us how he's decided to pull an audible at the last second and actually go into the season cold, ready to downplay his social game so that he's not viewed as such a likable, goofy, threatening guy. But he is charismatic, and charisma is one of the most powerful tools, not just in Big Brother, but in life. I'm going to speak broadly when I say not many people have charisma, but the greatest to play and sometimes win Big Brother do. Not to say Sam is in that category yet, it's way too early, but at least going into the season, I do see potential that not every other player gives me. While I don't really feel comfortable picking a winner in the preseason, again, if you're drafting a player, I would definitely keep an eye on Sam.
And even coming from Pennsylvania, where there's a lot of conservative views and everything like that, I get hated on a lot for my liberal views. Hated big time. Does it bother me? No, not really, because I really don't care. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Hate me? Great.
And then lastly, we get to Isabella Wong, 22, public health analyst from New Jersey. Another recent fan with blue eyelashes and lots of irreverence in her bio. Bella is ready to have a fun summer inside of the Big Brother house. For sure, Bella was cast as a character first and a gamer second because I get the funny feeling she's either going to be a life of the party or rather disappointed by how everyone else around her is when playing the game. I almost see a first boot here, but it's mostly because I don't know how much Bella really cares about playing Big Brother as she does entertaining herself for as long as possible. She's confident, but she doesn't really give me the impression that she knows what she's talking about as it relates to the show, which could lead her to being underestimated or simply on everyone else's radar all the time because she doesn't really know what she's doing. That said, could be a breakout star, has wacky personality upside that I could see myself rooting for rather easily, but for some reason, I fear she may get lost in the fold of the game and become irrelevant to the bigger players. Which, like I said, upside, it could work to her advantage, but I won't hold my breath.
I like to be kind of someone who has a lot of fun. I don't really take anything too seriously. I think for me, I'm able to see the big picture and know that this is just a game.
But that's going to be it. That is the 16 newbies on this season of Big Brother 21. That is going to be it for the long preseason cast analysis. I am now going to take my serious suit off and begin to watch the clock as I eagerly await the premiere. Regardless of what I think, what do you guys think about this cast in the preseason? We don't have much time to get your thoughts in because, once the episodes start, this is all irrelevant. Do you guys have any early favorites, potential winner picks, or a first boot? Let me know, but either way, my name is Peridiam saying thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to lose and be a legend in your own mind, and I will see you in the next video once I go empty the entire candy and snack aisle of the nearest grocery store because we have a long summer ahead of us.
How about showmatch? Are you single?
Yeah, I am single.
Are you looking?
Are you interested?
Not me.
Oh, okay.
But some people in the house might
kidding.
be. I'm gonna give your skills a 3 out of a 10.